Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of the Healing Space podcast. Today, you may have noticed we have someone super hot sitting over there. This is the queen herself, SocialCydd. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about social lives with HS.
Yes. How exciting.
Because
of you guys, I have a social life.
This is our only social life. So, obviously, you're the expert on Instagram of all things. You're SocialCydd. Tell us what are your secrets? How do we manage living with this, living with the mental part of this, which causes us to want to isolate and want to, pull away. How do we friends? How do we friends?
Wow. I think it looks different for everybody, right? We often, before we were diagnosed or before the HS started popping up, we, at least depending on how long ago you were diagnosed, we can barely remember who we were. Mm-hmm. And especially when it's so layered with motherhood and becoming somebody's wife. And, I come from a big family. So I think when I started sharing my journey on social media for a long time, I was sharing weight loss products. I was a part of MLM culture.
I did not know that. Yeah, I'm a little shook. I was a hate girly.
And honestly, even though I would never go back to selling weight loss products, that business model gave me the confidence to just start sharing my story online. And before I was sharing about my HS journey, it was just being transparent about trying to lose weight after having kids and learning how to love your body. But in the same breath, I felt fake because I was constantly trying to hide scars or make sure I was taking the right angles so nobody could see hyperpigmentation and what was going on with my body. And so it was just one day I felt I am tired of living this double life. I want to just be set free from this. So I posted a picture of my butt cheeks to
As Facebook. We do.
It was so bold. I don't even know.
Who are you? Was
that the Lord or the devil? Because the way nobody liked that for the whole 20 minutes that it was up, I was traumatized.
Were you I would probably refresh.
I was the app is broken. It's a glitch in the matrix. Because it's what do you mean it was up for 20 minutes? Not even a sad life? There was no interaction. And so I remember deleting it. And it was those voices were coming back after that. It was you're gross. You're never, people are going to be judging you now. Somebody definitely saw it. They just didn't like it. They don't even want you to know that they saw it, And so those voices were being so loud. And very quickly, I was just no, we need to pivot this. And that's when I turned it into video vlogging, my skincare journey. And just sharing little moments of having to figure out how to get blood off of my shirt because I'm getting, a boil-like abscess on my lower abdomen after having the baby. So I was sharing little moments like that. And I think from just having a few people, there was no virality instantly.
Right.
It didn't happen. I mean, it wasn't what I was looking for either, but it was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who were I think I have this. That made me feel I'm not alone.
Right. And especially because, you weren't reaching those huge numbers and you were already having people say, I think I have this.
It speaks volumes just to how deep all of us really believe that we were the only ones living with HS. We were the only ones. We are the rare unicorn that this is only happening to me. How dare I talk about
We are not that special.
Yeah.
We're not in the best way possible. You are not that special.
Right. So that's kind of just where it took off. And I was I felt connected. The connection that I have been looking for a really long time. Not even my mom could be this is what's going on. This is what you're going on. I'm dealing with this too. So it's I didn't even have the familiar family connection of anybody was dealing with it.
Yeah.
So I just got that connection from strangers on the internet. And from that moment, I was just I'm going to keep posting about this. And it just turned into over 600,000 followers later. And all of these travel opportunities and amazing friends like you guys. Like you guys are my social you guys are my social life, but it's because I think the internet has just done something so special for people like us. You know, like the internet can be a very dangerous place, and I think it was before so many advocates started sharing their story.
For sure, yeah, lots of misinformation.
We're so used to societal pressure to be like editing our photos and looking perfect and all this stuff, to where now like my algorithm shows me you guys and I feel connected and I don't feel like rare.
Representation is so important. It's so important to see yourself reflected in the media that you're consuming. Yeah, absolutely. So you are kind of a glue, I would say, and I know you're going to deny it and say that it's not that big of a deal, but you are, in a lot of ways, a glue of this community, in that you have connections with so many different people and so many different organizations and different influencers, and you are one of the biggest connecting factors in the HS world, like, period. And I don't know if you realize that.
I think I try not to, honestly.
I was going to say, by your face.
Scary. Like, I'm like, I don't know. No, I think that's just like, I mean, you grow up studying like great people sometimes, you know, and even though we like grow up and we realize like even famous great people are not always that so great, you know? So I've just really realized that character is evolving. And like, I just want to be a good person because I've been a really shitty one before. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and lie to you. When I was not talking about my HS, I was projecting mean girl vibes because I felt like shit about myself. So of course I want to make everybody else feel like shit too. Even though like we all go through high school and it's cliquey, and I'm like, I'm sad to say that like I was such a mean girl in high school, but it was because I was so hurt. So I think now when I see people and I have relationships with people, I just want to know them, and know their story, because like whether they're good to you or bad to you, there's like something about them, and like I don't know, it's just always giving people the benefit of the doubt, because I wish somebody would have did that to me, but all I can do now is like apologize and move better forward. Right. So that's all I try to do now, is like anybody from any walk of life, because HS does not discriminate. Like I want to make sure that I'm there for you, whether you have money or you don't have money, or you're black or you're white or you're blue or whatever, that I'm here for you. We share such a similar struggle, and I want them to feel heard and validated no matter.
In all our different intersectionalities, but we still have this one, you know, common base experience. Yeah, I love that. And I also wanted to point out, Sid doesn't just talk the talk. Like literally yesterday, we were walking through a conference center and she calls out this girl who is in an incredible orange suit and is immediately like, girl, I love yours. Like, that is an awesome suit. And like, just to random strangers, because she knows it's going to make their day. And it's so genuine. And that happened like with another person while we were just driving. Like, this person couldn't even hear Sid, and she was going off about how cute she looked. So I want to say that like I see that change in you, even if like you feel like you have to work for it. I feel like you're at a natural point where it just is who you are now. And I think like,
because I just feel good. You know? It's something so special to wake up and not trying to like hide so many different versions of yourself, because HS does impact your life more than just like the cosmetic way. But just like we were just talking, like the way you treat people, because maybe you feel like crap about yourself, or just treating people like crap because you're in pain. Like that's
right. Being mad that like you're in pain, they're not, or like, you know, when you're bedridden, let's say you have, you know, a severe flare, or maybe it's a long-term, you know, being bedridden, and you see people with HS that are, you know, maybe a little bit more able-bodied than you are, especially in that, you know, particular time frame. That's hard. It's hard not to want to go to that angry, resentful place, because it sucks that that's happening to you. And it sucks that it's not happening to everybody else. But also you have to realize, as much as you can't control what's happening to you, they can't control that their disease state is not as maybe bad as yours at the time for So I just had to put my 2 cents in on that because I see that a lot.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that is part of where this social piece comes in, because we do have people that are more isolated and we want them to be included like desperately. But it's hard to do that when so much of this involves your advocacy work, and the social piece of this involves traveling. It involves, lots of walking. We walked a damn 5 miles yesterday at that conference center. And that is something that we're very privileged to be able to do. So if you are someone who is, in a bedridden situation, what are some ways that they can get plugged into the community?
I think definitely utilizing all of the nonprofit resources, whether you want to get connected with HS Connect. I think it's the best educational resource that is out there for patients. Go dive into the website, learn more about your disease. When you do that, you're empowering yourself to better take care of yourself. That was the first thing I did when I got connected with Brinley. Making sure that whether you're black, brown, white, that you're associating yourself with a nonprofit that is going to fit your needs. I know that OSID does a really great job at connecting, making sure that the rural
Max is excited about that too.
He's encouraging.
That black voices and brown voices are heard and uplifted. There's hope for HS, whether you're needing that in Zoom and
support group version. Yeah.
So just making sure you're connected to social media, not just being a silent follower to some of your favorite advocates, and also shooting your shot to your advocates.
They answer back.
Celebrity status. I'm I know for a long time I was pretty bad at getting through my DMs, and that's because mentally I was not in a place to give people the advice. I wasn't confident in myself. I just wasn't there. But now I'm what can I help you with? Where can I send you a link? What can I get to you? So just shooting your shot. I love when people say that they know me in real life. I keep a My Magic Healer on me now in case I come across anybody, so I can
give a little sample. I love that.
Just having something on me so that way they don't leave empty-handed. Because as much as you guys think that we are these special unicorn people who share our journeys on social media, I think it's just as courageous when you guys are stepping up in the comment section.
Oh, for sure.
I think I have this, because you're kind of, not outing yourself, but you're familiarizing yourself with something, and you're voicing that in the comments, and somebody else can see that comment oh my gosh, she thinks she has this, So just as much as you are proud of us, we're proud of you.
Right, because we are obviously at a point where we're okay with talking about it, and you just made yourself okay with talking about it too. Whether you knew that or not, that's a huge freaking step.
Huge, and it's the first step of so many steps.
But
absolutely. It's one of the most important, so
for sure.
Don't take that lightly.
For sure. And literally, we do respond back, right? I know so many people who, I go and I see someone followed me, and then I'll go look at their profile, and it'll say, Sid follows this person, Reese follows this person, Joey follows this person. And it'll be a person that only has 100 followers. And I know that that's someone who's reached out to y'all and formed relationships with y'all. And then I follow them because I'm okay, they're one of us. So for real, if you are in need of social connection,
and no matter where in the world you are too.
Oh yeah, we're international.
I have so many people all over the world that I'm one day we're gonna meet. It's gonna.
We got translator apps.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm Leona, can you translate my videos in Spanish? Because we know that there's so much that still needs to be done.
Yeah.
But I think right now we're honestly just taking pause in the fact that like a lot of work does need to be done, but like let's clap for all the work that we're already doing.
Yes.
Because like even just being here, this is such a huge mental health resource for those people who are living with HS to just be able to relate to something outside of like the cosmetic and the physical, and be like, oh my gosh, they know that there's a mental burden that comes with this disease state. So, you know, it's giving yourself grace and being proud of your guys' selves, because at the end of the day, you know, I say this to Brinley all the time, is that it's easy to jump into advocacy and all of a sudden you forget you're a patient too.
Yes,
You know,
so
yeah, because you start feeling like an expert in it, and you start.
Work, so you just will go.
Yeah.
Of course, I want to do a podcast. Of course, I want to travel for this conference. Of course, I want to do. But we have to recognize that, like, even when it's for good, we still need to take a pause and say, hey, wait, like, am I safe right now? Is my body okay? Can I afford to do this? Like, do I need to rest?
Yeah.
And I think I just came out of a season like that, postpartum, having a baby, fourth kid, like learning what that new normal looked like for me.
Right.
And it's like been a year later. And I had to remember that, like, even though this stuff brings me so much joy and I love it, there's going to be a season coming up where, like, maybe every opportunity's not for me, because I have to take inventory and say, hey, are you okay? Is your HS okay? Like, take that moment. Mentally, are you okay? Because if you're not mentally okay, are you really going to be able to, like, serve others at the rate that you need to?
Right. So
taking that time.
You are, I love that. So you're talking about learning to set boundaries, and you're talking about just, I mean, preventing burnout.
Yeah.
Because even though it's something that you can be absolutely passionate about and love, right? Like, I love my job. I love waking up every day. Like, this is literally my job. I'm having the best time of my life. However, if I do this all day, every day, inevitably, you burn out. So you absolutely have to set boundaries to prevent that burnout. And you can define what those boundaries are for you, and they're different for everybody. Like, I'm trying to think of maybe some examples of boundaries that we have.
She does not work on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's her time with her husband. And I loved that. I was like, that is so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, I know that I have to create like a social media balance where after, you know, between certain hours of my day, I'm not on my phone, because my kids deserve that time for me.
Right.
So even though like what I'm doing is passionate about, like, our kids don't care.
No.
They're like, Mom, where's dinner? And I'm like, oh my God, you know, you're right. So it's finding that balance, because even though the community needs us and needs you, the future advocates in the space, your family needs you too. And you need you. You know what I mean? Like, so
show up for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can show up for other, and I know that sounds so cliche, right? Like, take care of yourself, put on your own mask first, all of the sayings. But I'm telling you, that is so real. And especially when you're living with a chronic illness, like, we only have so much to give. And if we give it all away, what happens then? And it doesn't refill as quickly as other people's either. So you have to be even more careful with your spoons, if we want to talk about spoon theory. And if you're not familiar with spoon theory, look it up, because we don't have time for that. But boundaries.
Yeah, they're super important. It's like, it's up there with mental health, you know?
Yeah.
Set those boundaries for yourself. And just know that I'm going to sit here and tell you, it's not going to feel good at first. You're going to feel like
a jerk.
A little jerk. Yeah, when you tell somebody no, even your kids, even your husband, even Brinley. Brinley actually can't get on that meeting. I'm doing something, you know, like, it does not matter. Because at the end of the day, you should be prioritizing you. Yeah. You know? So I just hope that the advocates, the future advocates, and just anybody who's listening to this knows that we have to put us first.
So your biggest piece of advice to maintain sociability and do advocacy work in that sociability is to take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful. And I think that's a great place to wrap up this episode.
Awesome.
So,
thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm so excited that you were here. I love your face, and I'm sure we're going to have you back for next season. So
It'd be an honor.
stay tuned and go follow Sid if you don't, because seriously, amazing content. Amazing.
Thank you guys.
Peace out.
Listening.